Good morning, this is Alamon, and welcome to Skylines After Dark. I just finished downloading this. I have disabled all of the mods that I have, just in case, but also I figure this just came out and it'll be nice to get the vanilla experience before jumping back into mods. What I'd actually like to start with is the asset editor, because I spent lots of time in the asset editor. I like making all sorts of tileable blocks and things like that. And in this expansion, or this DLC, we have some new road types, including, broken assets. Oh, because I disabled all my mods, that's why. Alright, don't have to worry about that. So let's see what we actually have here. So under 2 lanes, I don't think I see anything new here. Oh, except for with bicycle lanes. Okay. So how does this look? So I assume it's just the same as this, but without the parking lane. Oops. My volume seems a little loud in my ears here. Okay. So yes, the same, just with no parking lane. And what do you cost? No, that's with grass. Is this not going to tell me the cost? Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. But it seems like, because parking doesn't matter in this game, cars don't actually persist for parking purposes. Like, they will evaporate if there's no parking, and the person will just walk, and it's fine. It seems like there's no reason not to use bike lanes, except for when you want to use trees. So that's something. So this has been expanded. Okay, so with bicycle lanes or with bus lanes. So this is basically a 2-lane road, in other words, for normal traffic purposes. And it has parking, okay, which doesn't really matter. Whereas with the bike lanes, we do have 2 lanes of traffic plus the bike lanes, or rather 2 lanes in each direction plus the bike lanes. Here, alright, that's with grass. So bicycle lanes, it just replaces the parking, as we saw. For this one, we get 4 lanes of normal vehicle traffic, and then a bus/taxi lane. That's interesting that they give taxis that privilege. Personally, I am not at all excited for taxis. I couldn't care less about personal vehicles in this game. I like optimizing alternative forms of transportation, but maybe that's just me. Also, it seems that all of the special roads with bike lane... Oh, no, okay, so here we go. Here we have a... No, that's with grass. No, okay, so I think it is the case. Whenever you have bike lanes or bus lanes, the road is always a 2-way street. So there's no one way with the bus lane or one way with a bike lane. No changes with highway assets. Although, hold on, what? So this is 2-lane gravel road. Okay, so how about under here? Okay, so we have pavement path, which is 1 block wide. And the bike path is 2 blocks wide. But yeah, we can see the distinction there. Yes, so only bikes are allowed on these paths, whereas with these, pedestrians are allowed and also bicycles are allowed. Although I think there's a policy you can set to say no bikes on sidewalks. I'm not sure if that applies to pedestrian paths or if that only applies to the sidewalks that you see, on a normal road, because apparently bicycles can ride on the sidewalk, I believe. So what I want to do is just make a little development of some kind that is bike friendly. And I haven't thought about this pretty much at all. But I'd like to work something out. So the zero effort way to do it would just be to make a normal layout, but just include bicycle lanes. But I want to do something more complex than that. So there are these bicycle paths. Just as a quick experiment, let's go to 2-lane road with bicycle lanes. Let's put 2 of them parallel to each other, and then see what happens when we connect it like this. So I don't actually know how the intersections are determined. So, okay, this is my guess. This might be wrong, but this is my guess. For a pedestrian, if we have a pedestrian path, for example, this counts as a possible intersection. So a pedestrian walking along the sidewalk can be like, oh, I'm going to turn here. I'm guessing that when you have a normal road and bicyclists are pedaling on the sidewalk, first of all, I don't know if they only pedal on the sidewalk or if they can also pedal on the road. Because cyclists usually have full rights to use a lane of traffic unless it's like a highway. But I'm guessing in this case, if they were on the sidewalk, this would definitely count as a possible point where a cyclist could turn. What I feel much less sure of is whether, in this case, where you have a bike lane, whether the cyclist can stop here, hop up on the sidewalk, and then go down this bike path. I'm not sure if the AI would do that in pathfinding. But this is kind of what I'm thinking. I want to do some kind of layout with roads that have bike lanes, but then also have a few bike paths connecting. But then really, what's the benefit of using a bike path instead of just a normal pedestrian path? Because with the pedestrian path, you can get all your foot traffic on there and bikes as well. I don't think that there are any drawbacks to doing that, which makes me think that this asset, the bicycle path, is more for long distance connections further than you think someone would be willing to walk, and also just for kind of thematic, almost like role-playing purposes. Like if you want to have a bike path that goes through the woods or something like that nobody might even ever take, but it's just part of the city that you're designing. So what do I want to do here? I want to make something that is pretty cheap, smallish. Actually, I have an idea. I know what I want to do. Super, 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 super simple. We're just going to take the small roundabout and we're literally just going to take this and upgrade it to road with bicycle lanes and save it as a new asset. So then I want to see how this looks here. So there's no marking in the lane here as far as like how the cyclist can turn. They should be able to turn in either direction. I guess one issue with this as a roundabout, though, is that normally in a roundabout you just have one-way traffic. It kind of defeats the purpose to have two-way traffic, but we don't have a cycle path that would work, with a one-way, two-lane street. That asset does not exist. Ooh, day-night control, so we can do nighttime. Yeah. Cool, I like that. And does double-clicking it recenter it? No, it doesn't. So you just have to drag it back more or less to where you want it. Sorry, I'm a little lost in thought here. I'm just kind of wondering whether this asset would even be useful at all without being a real roundabout. Because if people are just turning in every which direction, I don't see how this would be useful for traffic flow. So that's what I would say to Paradox. We need two-lane, one-way road with bicycle lane. So what if instead we go for a four-lane road with bicycle lanes? Well, actually, first let me measure out where the middle of the map is. So we go 30 blocks, and then it is right here. Alright, so I'm going to upgrade that to... not the large road, sorry, the four-lane road with bicycle lanes. And then we're going to continue using 2-lane road with bicycle lanes to build out a development that will have, I think, 2 traffic signals. So let me remember how to do this. If we want this to be tileable, actually, first of all, I should have built that out a little further to the extreme edge. Okay, so that was step 1. Now we need to divide this into quarters. So first of all, here is half. Then we need to divide this again into half. So right now we, so wait, we'll start from this tile and go to that tile. So that is 30, 31, that's 32 tiles. So that is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 tiles. So I think this is where I want that to be. And now let's try from here. There's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 tiles. So let's see. I really should have made all these the same length. Let's do it like that. So that is... Oh, I wish I had my my mod that tells me the distance. But, okay, so that's a 10 block plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inside of it. That's a 10 block plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inside of it. And how about here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then including the edge of the map, 6. Yeah. So this is correct. Let's get rid of those. Go to... So what I'm doing, by the way, is if we want this to tile and have even spaces between your developments, you need to divide this into quarters, and then have 1 quarter, and then your first feature, another quarter, nothing, another quarter, then your third feature. So then when we tile this, you know, this will have the correct distance to, you know, if we scroll over here and tile another one down, to this. So in other words, this plus this equals this. So that's how you get consistent tiling. So let's build that out 1 block. Build it out a 2nd block. And a 3rd block. And same thing here. 1st block. 2nd block. 3rd block. And then I just need to stick these on the edge like this. Oops, there we go. Problem is, I'm not going to be able to use this right away. But that's okay. I just want to have at least 1 asset to stick down. So if I can plop down, you know, like 2 of these or something like that next to each other, and have a nice bicycle-friendly sub-development here, that should be nice. It should be nice. And we only have 2 sets of traffic signals. I think that's fine. All right, so we're going to save this. I'm just going to call it Bike Corridor. Okay, it's not naming. Here we go. Bike Corridor. Bike Corridor. Save, and we're done with the asset editor. Quit to main menu, and now we're going to give it a try. Like I said, I have no mods, you know, no cheats, nothing like that. So I have not played any European maps.